All right, so yesterday there were about 4 like decent deals that happened, and then there were also a couple rumors that were kind of big. They seem like they're starting to catch some steam and might actually become a reality later today. So I'm not gonna go too in depth on the rumors, but we'll kind of touch them a little bit, kind of glance over them, see what they are about. So if you guys are still enjoying these MLB news videos, this kind of like off-season stuff, make sure you hit the like button down below. Subscribe to the channel if you're new and enjoy the content. And as always, in the comment section, let me know what you think of all this news that's going on in baseball. If you missed the last video, it's going to be up here in the top corner. And also, all social media links are down in the description below. Go and give them a follow if you haven't already. So the first thing we're going to do is we're just going to quickly touch the rumors. And I saw that Dellin Betances is being heavily linked to the Phillies. I think that's a really good move for the Phillies. They've been lacking that bullpen arm. I know a lot of last year they dealt with injuries. They really didn't have a consistent bullpen, but I feel like they really need someone that's consistent. Dellin Betances has dealt with injuries as well. I also saw the Mets were a little bit involved in him, but I guess he's asking for a little bit too much. I think he's looking for around 10 million plus. So I think it's also like he's looking for 1 or 2 years, kind of looking like he's looking for like a contract where he can bounce back and show he can stay healthy and show that he's actually still a top reliever in baseball. So it sounds like the Phillies are really interested, and I'm gonna see if they do sign with, or if he does sign with them. I think that's a good pickup for the Phillies. So another one, Josh Donaldson, seems like he's kind of headed to the Nationals. I know there's been a couple other teams that are interested in him, but it seems like that rumor is the one that's starting to catch like the most out of all of them. So it seems like that one's sticking the most, and it seems like the Nationals are kind of pushing for him. So I think that makes a lot of sense for them as well. They just lost Rendon, and I feel like Josh Donaldson, even at the age of 34 now, I feel like he's still got that power in his bat. He still plays a great third base. I think that's a good move for the Nationals, trying to replace Rendon. Alrighty, so the last rumor really quick, Kwang-Hyun Kim looks like he's going to be signing with the Cardinals. The 31-year-old coming over from Korea. Stats look impressive. Had Tommy John in 2017. So that's kind of like the only injury that he's really had. And I mean, I know it's a big one, but you know what? If he can stay healthy for most of his career, and you're coming over looking to improve a pretty strong team already, I think this is a good pickup for the Cardinals. We'll look more into it, his stats and stuff like that, if he does sign with the team. So I just wanted to keep it brief and kind of mention that the Cardinals are interested in him. So now let's get to the completed deals, and we'll kind of start with like the least exciting one, Joe Smith to the Astros. Already 35 years old. Joe Smith, I think he might, yeah, he's 35 years old. Last 2 seasons been pretty solid. I mean, last year he only pitched 25 innings, year before 45. He's kind of that 7th, 8th inning guy, something, 9th inning guy if you really need him to be out there. But his whip is disgusting, sitting around 1 and below. He throws a few innings, but obviously as he gets older, he's not going to be able to throw as much. But he's been very consistent throughout his entire career. His ERA has been sitting really low. His whip's always sat really low. He's that guy that you can trust. He's coming back to the Astros for 2 years, $8 million. And I think for the Astros, it's another comfort pick. It's one of those, we know this guy has pitched well for us the last 2 seasons. We got to keep him healthy. If we can do that, he's gonna be a reliable arm in the bullpen, and every team needs that. So Joe Smith, it may not be the flashiest of signings. It may not be like, wow, we got this superstar in the bullpen now. But you know what? You're getting consistency with him. And you know what? It's not a bad pick. It's not a bad pickup for the Astros at all. So 2 years, $8 million, that's like nothing nowadays in today's era of contracts and baseball. So Joe Smith to the Astros, I think, is a decent little pickup. All right, so let's talk about Sergio Romo to the Twins, because they brought him back. I think it's a 2-year deal. The second year it's a club option, so it's technically 1 year, $5 million, but it becomes 2 year, $10 million if the team does pick up that second year option. So when you look at his year last year, consistency. It's like what you're getting with Sergio Romo. He's never been a hard thrower, so he's never had to change his pitching style or anything to adjust to a drop in velocity. He's always had that nasty breaking ball, that slider. So what you're getting with Romo. You're getting consistency. You're getting a guy you can send out there in the 7th, the 8th, the 9th inning. He's gonna get the job done. So when you look at his stats, they may not be the flashiest the last couple seasons, but then when you look at his career over the last 12 years, a sub-3 ERA, a whip that is literally just over 1. He's pitched 623 innings. You're getting just you're getting a guy that you know you can have faith in, sending him out there in any type of situation, and he's going to get the job done. And it may not be the flashiest of signings now that he's 36 years old, but you're still going to get consistency out of him. Yeah, if it was like 6-7 years ago, you'd be like, whoa, we just signed Sergio Romo. But even at this time in baseball, even at this point in his career, you're still getting a really good reliever. And I feel like bringing him back makes a lot of sense for the Twins. They really need some bullpen help. They still need to figure out a little bit of their rotation. And I feel like this is helping out with that pitching staff that I feel like is the weaker part of their team. You know, their offensive side is great, but you got to figure out that pitching side, and then I feel like you'll definitely be a really strong team in the AL. So bringing back Romo makes a lot of sense. It's not a lot of money, $5 million a year. It's nothing. So good move for the Twins. I like it. So let's talk about Wade Miley to the Reds on a 2-year, $15 million deal. You look at his season last year, kind of similar to what his career averages are, around a 4 ERA, 1.3 WHIP. You look at 2018, he only pitched 80 innings, but he had a really solid season in those like limited innings. So the thing is, you got to keep him healthy. Last year, he had a full healthy season. He pitched about 170 innings. And I still think this is a good pickup for the Reds. It solidifies their rotation. It kind of completes it. You're looking at your 4th or your 5th starter in Miley. He's 32 years old. So, I mean, you're not looking for him to be your ace. You already have Trevor Bauer, Sonny Gray, Luis Castillo at the top of your rotation. You're looking for him to be your 4th, your 5th guy that you can send out there every 5th day. Give you about 5, 6, 7 innings, and then let the bullpen take over. He's not going to be the flashiest of pitchers. He's not going to be the guy that you're like, whoa, he's blowing everybody away. But he's going to be consistent. He's a good veteran to have in your rotation. And I feel like when you look at the Reds rotation as a whole, this kind of looks like a really strong rotation. You know, one of the best in the Central, and you know, kind of making a case for one of the best in the NL, maybe even baseball. I know I'm kind of jumping the gun on that, but I feel like the Reds have really stepped up their game this offseason. They've already added Moustakas, and I feel like they're headed in the right direction. I still think they may need 1 or 2 bullpen arms, and then when you look at their shortstop position with Galvis, I think that could be upgraded. Maybe it's a little young in the outfield. Maybe try to get a veteran out there that can help lead them. You know, maybe try to bring back Puig, maybe somebody else that can help them there. But I look at this team, I think they're headed in the right direction. I feel like, you know, with a couple pieces, they're definitely NL Central favorites. I think they may even be NL Central favorites right now. So I think this is a good addition to the squad. Rotation set now, and now you can, you know, start putting your focus on other parts of the team. So good move. It's really cheap. 2 years, $15 million is nothing. This is a good move by the Reds. Once again, I like it. Let's move on to the last one, which is going to be Avisail Garcia to the Brewers. So Avisail Garcia to the Brewers, 2 years, $20 million. And this kind of fills a hole that they had because Ryan Braun was playing out in left, and he's not the same athletic Ryan Braun that he used to be. He's never really truly been a left fielder. You can see that he has his defensive deficiencies out there. So being able to bring Garcia to the outfield and then move Ryan Braun back to the infield makes a lot more sense. It looks like Braun's going to be playing first base. But when you look at Avisail Garcia's career as a whole, you're looking at a pretty solid, just very consistent player. 270 average. OPS sits at around 750, which isn't terrible. It's not great, but it's definitely not terrible at all. 428 slugging and 323 on base percentage. I mean, you look at his career, 96 home runs, 374 RBIs. He's consistency. He's going to give you around 20 home runs a season. He's going to have a pretty solid on base percentage. OPS sitting at a decent area, and you know he can play left field pretty solid. So you look at him, and this is a good pickup for the Brewers. They really needed that outfield help, you know, and you can move Braun back to the infield, which he's going to be a lot more comfortable at. It looks like he's going to move and fill that Jesus Aguilar spot at first base. And I like this move. The Brewers seemed like they were trying to clear house and kind of move in kind of a downward direction, actually. They let a lot of players go through free agency, but, you know, they've picked up Omar Narvaez, which I really liked. They picked up Avisail Garcia. They have Luis Urias now. So those moves aren't terrible at all. I like this move by the Brewers. It really does fill that left field spot. It also feels just a pretty consistent bat. As a Cubs fan, I don't really like it, obviously. But when you look at what the Brewers kind of have now, it makes a little sense why they let some of these players go and they're bringing back, you know, they brought in Urias, who's got that potential. You have Omar Narvaez, who looks like he can be a pretty solid offensive catcher. You just got to figure out those deficiencies behind the plate. And then you have Avisail Garcia now in left, who, you know, he's solid out there defensively and definitely consistent with the bat. So it may not be an amazing signing where you're like, oh man, we got the next Christian Yelich, or we have a very similar player to Christian Yelich. No, but he's going to be very consistent. He's going to hit around 20 home runs. He's going to hit around 270, around, 750, 800 OPS, and he's going to get the job done in left field. And he's actually a pretty solid bat. And I think this is a good move for the Brewers. $10 million a year is not terrible at all. So again, pretty solid business. And I think this is a good piece for the Brewers. So that's going to wrap up the video, guys. It wasn't the craziest of signings. It was, just good moves by teams. Joe Smith to the Astros makes sense. They need to keep that bullpen intact. You look at Sergio Romo to the Twins. Again, you need to keep that bullpen intact, keep that pitching strong. So I think that was a good move for them. Avisail Garcia to the Brewers fills that left field hole, and now you can move Braun to a more comfortable infield position. And then you look at the last one, which was Wade Miley to the Reds, which again fills out that rotation, and I think that was a good move for them. So they may not be the flashiest of signings, like I said, but they were all pretty good business, and I like the moves. So that's going to end the video, like I've already said before, and I hope you did enjoy it. If you did, thumbs up down below. Subscribe to the channel if you're new and enjoyed the content, and as always, in the comment section, let me know what you think of the deals. I'll catch you all in the next video after you look at these two videos, my most recent and one that YouTube recommends for you. I'll catch you all in the next one, guys. Peace.